I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, we got two breakouts. Absolutely two breakouts. Baki and Gun High School are the two biggest.
All right. So, boys, I'm glad you could be here with me tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Binge Or Cringe. This is another episode, another soiree, another party. And now I do mean a party because what we're going to be talking about is how they throw hands. This episode of Binge Or Cringe is based on martial arts anime. And anime we have chosen, we have selected carefully. They really be throwing hands. There's some real mixing going on to the point that it's so entertaining, you can't help but what's happening next. Like, it's serious. So, as you already know, I'm going to introduce myself. I am your boy, Ideal Tone, and this is my table for tonight. So, let's start off. First, we have the boy among men, or should I say the man among boys, the king among princes, King Cryptic.
What's going on, kings and queens? I don't know how I felt about that boy among men.
I had to take it back. I had to take it back.
I was like, hold on. I'm the youngest, but it's okay.
No, but you see how I fixed it though? I fixed it. I fixed it though. My thoughts were moving faster than my mouth.
I got you.
But all right, and then we have Risky Summer.
Hello.
Don't forget he is legendary. And we have the great grandfather of anime, Cobalt 70.
What's up?
All right, so we're going to get into it. Those of you who are watching, those of you who are going to be joining in later, please say what you will. Please comment. If you have any additional questions for us while we're doing this, please ask. It's going to be entertaining. Definitely, it's going to be a lot of vocal hands being thrown with this one. So let's get to it. So as we already know, the topic for tonight is at martial arts anime. And martial arts anime can take on a variety of forms, whether it has superpowers in it, or it's swordplay, or it's just straight like brawling. It can be all of that in one. So, one of the, if I'm not mistaken, the genre for martial arts anime goes way back, right? Like what, to like the 80s?
Go back as far as like the Edo period, right? A lot of them.
Oh yeah. Oh, long before.
And the feudal era. I don't know which one came first, feudal or the Edo period.
I think it was
Feudal. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot to talk about regarding that. But let's get into it. Let's go around, say what our picks are, why we chose them, and let's discuss them a little bit. Like what makes them true martial arts anime. Risky, would you like to start off?
Yeah, sure, I can start off. So, my first one is definitely one I kind of had to fight for, but I got my win. Is G Gundam, man. Like, I understand they're in mechs. I absolutely understand they're in mechs. But the mechs are just an extension of themselves. Like, they are literally fighting in a martial arts tournament, and it's like, it's Gundams giving hands, dude. That's what I like. I've always been about Gundams. I'm a big Gundam fan. But to watch them, like, just brawl like how they do is amazing.
Right. So what else about it is like that really drew you in besides the fact that it was technically strictly martial arts in like Gundam form?
What else?
Yeah, anything else or
just there's such a variety of them. Like they literally bring in every nation that is fighting for the number one top in like of the world. Like they pretty much whoever wins runs the world, and there's just so many different types of Gundams that they introduce you to. I'm about it.
Okay, cool. What about your other picks?
I'm only gonna have one other.
Okay.
My other one is the Dragon Ball, like the OG Dragon Ball.
Okay. I'm be honest with you. Definitely solid choices, especially like no Gundam is a solid choice. And actually, since you talk like All right, for those of you who don't know, Risky is like a big fan of like all the mech type anime for sure. Like
He's our man for mech.
yeah, if you want to know some knowledge about some mech anime, he's the man to go to for sure. To the point that he got me intrigued. I started rewatching Zoids. I forgot which one he talked about in one of our episodes, but that was the one I started rewatching for a little bit. I got to go back and finish it, but definitely got me back. And I'm like, oh man, I haven't watched a mech anime in so long. Like, so
Dude, the last one I watched was Cat Labor, dude. But it was a remake 3D Cat Labor that they came out with. So I was
Did you
pretty
flush a
stoked on
toilet?
that. I just flushed the toilet. I just went pee.
Wow. I just went pee. So professional, Cole.
yo, how unprofessional. Sorry, my viewers. Sorry to Cryptic's viewers. Sorry to our viewers.
Shit while we take shits around here.
You're not supposed to point out. You're just supposed to quietly acknowledge that it.
No. I heard that straight echo, and I was like, wait a minute.
I was straight aiming for the corner, trying to be as quiet as possible too. I was like, that was sniping too. Dog.
Yeah. All right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I even like spread out the shake just so it wouldn't make any noise.
You know what? I'm done. I don't know what else to say to that. I don't. Risky. Risky. I respect your choices full-heartedly, man. Seriously, good choices.
I like that you picked the OG Dragon Ball because that really was an OG martial arts anime that like I put in the contemporaries that like fucking Ranma 1.5, and it kicked off a ton of fucking martial arts animes later on.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Did. Like even like from when Goku was a kid all the way to like they even introduced him as like practically a teenager, maybe even early 20s, and just watching like what it has become of it. Like at this point, Goku is a god, but he started out as this kid that flew around on a cloud.
Yeah.
Now the dude's a god.
Yeah, he didn't have like he was the biggest superpower he had was the Kamehameha. Like he didn't fly or nothing like that. He just he fought. It was physical hands. He had a weapon. You know what? You don't even see the pole no more, man. That's crazy. I hate that. I really don't. What happened to it?
I do love Dragon Ball.
He would be too strong, dude. He just knew he'd be too strong.
The hands are nuclear weapons as they are. Like he doesn't need anything else.
I'm just saying if he had the pole and he was mixing it with Super with Jiren, him and Jiren, I'm just saying the pole would have been an extra little niche.
I think the pole was so slow compared to him at this point. Like
yeah, that's true.
It would have only held him back.
Yep. Like his fists are literally named Planet and Destroyer. That's all.
All right, so what about you, Cryptic?
Well, I had a hard time bringing it down because like I said before we started, is that like if I had a pick to pick four, all of them would have been Baki. So I'll just start with Baki because Baki is just so good. It was one of those animes where I didn't really trust Netflix that much when it came to animes at the time because all of them looked kind of whack. But and of course it had that Netflix original at the bottom, and I was like, how good can this be? But I got into it, and it's just the sheer rawness of it, like to the point where it's breaking down as you're watching somebody get mixed up. It's breaking down exactly how they're doing it, how it relates to that certain style. It really shows off just how well they have developed their own individual martial arts styles and how far back it reaches in time to when it was passed down and passed down and passed down, and how much diligence it takes to develop that level of skill. It was just awesome, man. It was great, especially when they got up to where it is currently, where they introduced boxing, and then they were trying to say, well, not really trying, because it has a little bit of truth to it, how Muhammad Ali developed a different way to box from the standard, and how that had the potential to become a martial art, but it was just lacking that one little thing, which I'm not going to spoil for anybody, but it's just the way that they took those personal takes on that and turned it into an anime. It was well executed, in my opinion. And then the second one I would say is something I want to share with our gracious host, Mr. Jones here, which is God of High School, because I just finished that. But there's some connections between God of High School and the original Dragon Ball 2 that I want to make later on. But that was an excellent one as well. That one had some good fight scenes. Definitely like top 10 material, if not top 5.
Hey, take a moment to elaborate, man. You got the floor.
Give me 1 second. Just want to shout out Berserk. Thanks for watching, bro. Hopefully you learned something from last. What was last episode? I forgot.
Last one was dang.
Oh, now I remember. Love, Death, and Robots. So yep, hopefully you learned something from Love, Death, and Robots, and you actually got a chance to watch it, man. With that one, I really enjoyed that one. So stick around. You might enjoy something about these martial arts anime.
Mm-hmm. Well, we shouting out people. I'm gonna shout out Jiraiya because Jiraiya is in my chat, and Jiraiya is being awesome, and we love Jiraiya and Berserk just as much.
Yes,
as
we do.
Anime. So
yes, we do.
Y'all are the best. Y'all are great.
Jiraiya, stop playing around and get in here one day. You messing with me.
I'm saying, get in here, Jiraiya.
Homeboy belongs in here because you know he's got shit to say on the topic.
I know he's gonna say it.
He's flooding the shit. He's flooding your chat right now. I know he is. He's probably like, "Yeah, what about this anime?
He playing with. Look. He's seriously playing with my emotions. He's it, and the thing is, he's an idealist in my chat. He's an idealist. He should be getting these messages. I'm just saying.
He's a double agent. He knows what's going on. Double agent. To elaborate on that thought with God of High School and the original Dragon Ball. I really love whenever they play on that Wukong legend.
Oh, man.
And they start bringing that in a little bit.
Oh, I love that.
I knew it from the moment that it started because he had those motherfucking boots on. You know what I'm talking about. He had the damn boots on that Goku has on too. And I was like, oh, okay, he's going to be Wukong. That's going to be it. And then the staff came after that. And then the fighting style too, fighting with the legs. That came way, way early. Like it just kind of gave it all away. But it was the way that they introduced him as being like his own like legend. I would say that that's kind of how they did with Goku too. The way that he got rid of the staff and he just became his own thing. It was just well executed. Well executed.
It's so hard for me to keep my silence right now, but the next arc is going to blow your fucking mind.
Oh, no, it is. It's going to blow you away. It seriously is.
The potential is so limitless.
Yeah. All right. So you got another one, or is that just...
That's it. That's all I got to bring to the table tonight. I don't got much, but
okay. Yeah. So right now, just to let everybody know, we're just going around the table and we're just discussing it. But as we done going around the table, I want to go like further into what makes martial arts anime. So we'll get to that. But definitely for me, if Kobo, if you don't mind if I go next.
No, go next. I'm gonna close out.
Okay. For me, definitely one of the ones, and this is a hidden gem. Not many people give this one a shot, or at least have seen it. Kobo, I know you have. Katana Gatari is my first pick, and it was one that came out in 2012, 2004, between 2012 and 2014. If I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. You know what? I'm gonna look it up real fast.
Go check it out. Definitely one that if you don't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just look at the art style. You're going to be thrown off because it doesn't strike you as awesome as it's going to be.
Yeah, the art style throws you off.
Unique art style.
Yeah. All right. So yes, the art style is very unique and simplistic in a way, but okay. Well, then the art style was definitely ahead of its time a little bit. It came out in 2010. I don't even remember it being that old.
Yeah, it was old, bro. It like not that old, but 2010.
Yeah.
I swear, I thought it was 2011.
Yeah, I thought it was a little, later than that.
You know what it was? It was. It's 2 seasons, isn't it? It was 2 seasons.
No, it was 1 season. It was literally 1 season. It was 12 episodes. But here's the thing: every episode was an hour.
That's what it is.
It was 12 episodes, but each episode was literally an hour long. And it was been a minute since I watched the anime that was like that. Like it and the fact that it kept your attention for each hour, for each episode was good. Katana Gatari was literally one of the martial arts animes that really hit the scene for the simple fact that this guy, that like the background about it, just, not really big spoilers, but just a little info. The guy was trained in a martial arts style where he is a sword. He's a living sword. He's a living sword that is trained in a martial arts style to break swords and destroy them. So it's like he's the perfect weapon against a samurai of all caliber. That's just the way he is, the way he's trained. That's the martial arts style that's handed down through his family. So it's very intriguing. In each episode, his abilities get fiercer. It gets really good. My next choice was Tenjo Tenji. Tenjo Tenji, and here's the thing about Tenjo Tenji. They never finished it. The manga kept going, but the anime never finished. That was really disappointing to me.
Yeah.
But it was so good. The fights were so crazy. Like the main characters just started out as a regular thug street brawler who started learning martial arts and started realizing, and the people who was training in martial arts realized he actually had more power than they originally thought he had. Like he was ridiculously strong. Everybody almost at the school that he went to were some type of form of martial arts artists. It was cool. It's really cool. Like they had more abilities and more experience than the school really lets on in the beginning. And then my third choice was the one that Cryptic was talking about. The God of High School. The God of High School, man. When I tell you, I kid you not, I have been waiting 5 to 6 years for them to release an anime, which they have been hinting at an anime for the past 4 years. And it was ridiculous. But when they finally announced it, and I was finally excited that Crunchyroll picked it up and helped get it going, I was like, it's about time. Like, it's such a great anime. The fighting is crazy. The abilities are ridiculous. And then they really break it down in each fight how techniques are done. When you think about it, it's really cool. Like, especially they have different types of styles. Like they got Taekwondo, renewed Taekwondo.
The way they animate the styles is super unique too.
Yeah, man.
That's what really caught me for it. It's like a lot of animes, you get the fight scenes that are almost typical to Naruto style, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of those defy physics in a lot of ways, and they don't totally represent an actual fighting style. You watch God of High School, you're seeing actual fighting styles represented in animation, and they do it really well. Like
don't get me wrong. All right, Jin Mori, the main character, his fighting style is renewal Taekwondo, and it is powerful. Not to mention, he's a natural born genius. Before you even realize the fact that he is who he is, he's a natural born genius that picks up other martial arts like that just by seeing them. And not only that, his best friend Dawe or what I don't know.
It was like Dawe, but it was good.
Yeah,
the way they said it in Japanese.
He's a savage, on some real stuff. Like his full contact karate is really powerful. Like when you think about it, when he starts it, he has to get into the motion. But when he starts it, he basically breaks all forms of martial arts that come in contact with him. The way the motions go for his full contact, it's ridiculous. Yeah, my man. And then Mira, yeah, she flows, man. She flows like what's her name of her sword style? The Moon or something like that.
It's the Moon Blade something.
Yeah,
or other.
Literally, if you listen to the name of the sword style, literally her sword style is like what it sounds like. It's like the way she flows, she's like a reflection of the moon on an ocean floor or something like that. It's ridiculous the way she just flows with that sword style. She can be a bit aggressive sometimes, but for the most part, she flows very well.
Swordless strikes within her arsenal, so she doesn't even need a blade. She
doesn't.
Fucking
no, yeah, you know? Which goes back to what I said about Katana Guitar. Technically, without her sword, she's a blade herself. Like she cut that girl without a sword. I was like, you know what? Never piss her off. But that's my 3.
All right. You want me to dive right in?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
My first choice is one that most people haven't seen. Most people wouldn't even expect, and it's called Bento. and it's fighting
Classic.
over food.
Classic.
It's hilarious. The fighting is epic. The story is entertaining. And I picked it mainly because it's not your usual martial arts anime. There's not like a sensei and a student and learning all these spiritual things. No, they're brawling over food, bro. They're brawling over food, and it's low-priced food. All right, it's all about getting in and getting that bento for cheap. Now, the first episode, you see, the main character, he doesn't even know what hit him. He doesn't even know what happened. You don't find out what happened until the next episode.
That's true.
And what you find out is that a full-scale brawl just took place in a supermarket between experts in martial arts fighting for food. So one of the more entertaining choices. The second one is going to be all-time classic. We wouldn't have martial arts anime without it, and that is Fist of the North Star.
Yes.
It has been the OG. They've redone it 3 times. You've got at least 3 or 4 different renditions of the story. It's been around for a long time. Everyone knows Hokuto no Ken, and everyone loves it. I guarantee every person here has seen it, or at least seen a couple clips of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was also one of the first U.S. movies based off an anime to be done, and they floundered on it. There was no way they were going to be able to capture that kind of awesomeness.
It was
an action movie in the 90s.
Yeah, them trying to do something like that, it was way ahead of its time. They were trying to do something that's way ahead of its time. Yeah, ahead of her time for sure.
Way ahead of their time, but unfortunately, technology and the cinematography wasn't at a level that they could reproduce the scenes, the action, and the gore.
Exactly.
You know? Mm-hmm. But that's my number 1 pick. I have a couple honorable mentions that I throw up there, like Ikitosen, another one that didn't get finished.
Yeah,
it never finished out.
They tried to finish it out. They had 4 different versions of it, and then.
Well, I mean, it's one of those ongoing ones that eventually that became super ecchi and then sort of faded away,
Mm-hmm.
And then Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple.
Oh,
another
for sure.
Great one.
Oh, 100%.
And there's a ton out there that we could pick. We're just picking our favorites. If you've got one out there that you love, that you feel deserves to be put up here with it, absolutely, by all means, throw it in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say about Kenichi though. I'll be honest with you, they still could have continued that because the way the manga keeps going, because they finally finished off the manga not like a couple years back. It gets so much better. He gets so much more crazy, powerful, and dope. And I
think they're eventually gonna go back to it, dude.
They have to. It's so good. It really is.
They redid Baki. They're finishing out. They're finishing out Baki, and they're doing Baki. By the way, contemporary to Baki, Kenshin Ashura, another one that Netflix did that I was shocked that was as good as it was.
Is that one that's kind of 3D looking?
Yep, it's.
I started that. Yeah.
It's in the same vein of the new Baki series, and like you, when I walked into Baki, I was like, "Oh God, Netflix." The only reason I gave them a shot is because the Blame movie that they did, the Knights of Sidonia show that they did, were phenomenal. I had to give them a shot, and I was not disappointed on either of those. So, all right, those are my 3. Threw in a couple honorable mentions just so we have them in there. Take it away, Tom.
All right, so. Are there any more honorable mentions before we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
Bo. You guys know. The only thing that really was that I hate about Bo is that it was so based around Japanese culture, and they had a lot of hidden things that we just wouldn't understand because we live in America and we're not surrounded by that culture. So they had a bunch of cultural reference jokes that would have landed on a note perfectly, and it would just go right over your head because you just didn't know. And that's just something you can't help. But that anime was so ridiculously great. It was something that was just so terrible you couldn't take your eyes off of it. Because it's just what the fuck is on this TV right now?
The first time I seen it and I saw Bobo, And I'm looking at him. Then all of a sudden, his nostril hairs just starts beating the snot out of it. I'm like, what is going on? But I couldn't turn away. And I was like, why? Why?
So good.
And then let's do that
party all the time. That was a Gasser. He was a G.
Oh, gas
out with a straight ass gas.
Yeah, man. Don't take off his choker.
Nope, don't do it.
Don't take off his choker. All right, one for me. This is one I took. I'll be honest with you. I completely forgot about. Mushi Bugyo. I don't know if anybody knows about that.
Yep.
Don't know particularly.
Mushi Bugyo.
Cobalt knows.
Yeah, Cobalt knows. Mushi Bugyo. They were swordsmen or like ninjas and over there, but it's called the Bug Extermination Company, which like it was in the feudal era, or that's where it took place, where like giant insects were trying to destroy the human race or the Japanese culture or whatever, taking over. It was a lot going on. I can't really remember exactly, but I know it was good. And the fighting was crazy. The martial arts was crazy, especially the swordsmanship. There were different types of swordsmanship, different types of martial arts. There was a ninja, all that stuff. It was a lot going on, but it was pretty good. I wouldn't choose it as one of like my top 5 or something like that, only because like the martial arts in it was limited to a certain point, but it was entertaining. I will say that.
I had actually thought of that one initially too, but I thought, if we're gonna go with the martial arts anime, there's so many that just top it out. It falls to the bottom of the stack. It still belongs in the discussion, but I mean, against like Baki, God of High School, Hokuto no Ken, like these are animes that are just epic.
Right.
You can't really compare them.
I have one from Jiraiya too. He says Ultimate Muscle. If anybody knows that one.
Oh wow! I forgot about that one.
Ultimate Muscle.
That's one I have not. It's one that I have not seen.
I'm be honest with you. I never watched it, but I did see like previews for it and everything. But I forget that like if that's a true blue one for sure. Jiraiya, nice.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah, no, dude. Okay, when I was a little kid, that was huge. They had little mini characters that you could get.
Let me look it up.
Each of the main characters, and they were they were like inch tall characters from the anime. And the anime itself never took off in America, but those little toys did, and they became a huge thing around here. It eventually died out towards the end of the 80s, but yeah, that's a crazy choice.
Yeah, it was that wrestling. Said that to me. Ultimate Muscle was the wrestling one. Yeah, that's right. I thought I remembered it. That was really good, man.
Steve Jiraiya belongs in here.
I told you. He said he's waiting until the perfect topic comes out, and he's gonna slide in and just blow us out the water.
Okay, you drop Ultimate Muscle, and you act like you wait.
No. I do not want to hear it. That's it. No, everybody, Jiraiya, listen to me right now. Okay, you better listen up. If I do not have you in this lobby, in the next one, we have a problem. Okay, because the next one, you know what? I was going to hold off on saying what the next one was, but I'm going to say it on stream. I don't care. Okay. And Pocket, Miss Pocket, you better be listening as well if you watch this later. Okay. I need all of you here. It better be 6 or 7 of us. I don't care, because we're talking about one specific anime, Gurren Lagann. If y'all don't be here for the next episode, I'm smacking all of y'all.
He keeps popping into the chat and dropping gold and saying, no, man, I'm not gonna fucking hang out. I'm not gonna do the podcast. But here, while you're doing the podcast, here's a couple gold that you guys didn't think of. And that totally blows the doors off the conversation. Jiraiya, you belong here, and I'm hurt that you're not here.
Jiraiya, you're hurting my feelings. I feel like you don't want to accept my invitation because it's me. But yeah, Gurren Lagann, I already ruined the surprise for everybody. If you're watching, is next episode. I don't care. Yeah, I had to say it
We're doing Gurren Lagann. Huh?
Yes, Gurren Lagann. Come on, man.
Drill to the heavens, baby.
Row, fight the power.
God, I haven't watched that in ages.
Man, I just rewatched it.
That is early 2000s.
I stop at like episode 8 or 9 every time I watch it. Like,
what?
I don't get far, dude.
What? It's a mecha anime. What?
No, I can understand this choice because after they finally get into the other community and the story starts going, it kind of lags a little bit before it gets to that next arc.
Yeah, everybody tells me that I literally stopped at the best part, and I want to watch it, but I never make the time. But if you guys are gonna do a podcast on it, and I want to be, so I'll watch it.
Please do.
Please, because it gets so good.
It gets really
so
good. Okay. Gets really good.
You're gonna walk away, Risky, and you're gonna be blown away by the fact that the story is as good as it is, for considering the fact that it came out in early 2000s.
That's true. So, all right. So, Jiraiya, I said my piece. I better see you. I better hear your voice. All right. So, what makes our choices martial arts, like some of the best martial arts anime, to be chosen? What makes them true martial arts anime? If I had to say my reasoning, it was and y'all already know what I'm going to say. If y'all don't know what I'm going to say, y'all should know by now. They threw nothing but hands. Okay, nothing but hands in each one. It was strictly square up. Like that's it. Oh, you strong? I want to fight you. Square up. Like that's it. They didn't care if they lost. They didn't care if they won. They just wanted to throw hands. That's what it is for me. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but
well, I want to just touch on what Cobalt was saying earlier, and animes that really show the difference between the fighting styles, those are the ones that are really, really, really great because like you were saying with Naruto, like once you get to a certain level in Naruto, everybody kind of has the base, amount of fundamentals that they know when they get into a fight. Like, oh, everybody can flash step. Oh, everybody can go ahead, throw their hands for a second and then back off. And then when it starts to individualize each person is when they throw out special moves. When it comes to animes that show off the individual fighting styles, like with God of High School, and the main character, he was using his legs because that was his fighting style. His buddy with Dawei, he was just all fists the entire time. He was ready to go. He wasn't using his legs a lot because that was what he was in. But when it comes to actual, just like you were saying, on site, Baki, dude.
Oh, Baki was always on site.
Life in that shit. They said, I don't care what you went through yesterday. I don't care if you stubbed your toe this morning. I don't care if you got a broken leg. You were catching these hands on site.
Baki was always on site. Always. It didn't matter.
So crazy.
Especially like Baki's dad, Yujiro he
the demon, man.
Man, it was always on site for him. It didn't matter who, it didn't matter when, it didn't matter how. It didn't matter what. It could be a lion. It was on site. Like
you should definitely watch the OG anime on that. Just because it covers.
I did
the points before the actual Netflix show. Like it covers his high school era shit, and there's some good story there. There's some good story, some good fighting there, and it's every bit as awesome as you'll expect it to be. It came out at a time period where ultra violence and hardcore shit in the anime was still okay. Now they kind of curb their shit, but back then it was hardcore. Right. You wouldn't have like a lot of the kung fu today if it weren't for that violent youth.
All right, who else got a formed opinion on what makes martial arts anime martial arts?
I mean, I can put a few words.
Well, bring them on.
Bring them on. You got the floor, brother.
Well, all right. As I brought up earlier with Fist and North Star, you'll notice a lot that he does a lot of the yells, a lot of the moves that are really reminiscent of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee brought martial arts to the forefront in movies and stuff, and like the entire 80s were influenced by him. Well, that influence took place in Japan as well, and it gave us the beginnings of martial arts anime. Now, if you fast forward a good decade, that anime has now influenced the martial arts movies that we saw throughout the 90s and early 2000s. And so it's nice to see how a lot of the filmmakers are influenced by some of these great animes.
That's true.
Because it's possible to do things in animation through cinematography, through just cool moves and extra special abilities that you couldn't do in a movie without spending tons of money on special effects and stuff like that. But we're now at that point where we get sort of things like that. The Matrix would never have happened if anime had not become a thing. And if you look at the martial arts in the Matrix, the things that transcend what you would think is possible were directly related to the impossibilities that took place in anime. So what makes martial arts animes awesome and what makes them so poignant is that their influence goes far beyond just a love of martial arts fighting. It influences the philosophy of an individual.
That's true.
The entertainment sectors across the board. You look at how decades of anime influenced the guys who did Afro Samurai and how awesome that was.
Yeah, think about it. Like Afro Samurai has so much to it, more than just like it was just like martial arts. It was a history factor. It was something that brought to the table, or brought to like it brought to your attention, or brought to your attention the question: was there an actual samurai who was black? And then when you go looking through history, there really was. He was a slave.
There absolutely was.
Yeah.
Not only that, you look at kids who got super into Rurouni Kenshin. I couldn't name a single. I could name a single student in high school now that wouldn't know what I was talking about if I brought up the Meiji era. But if I said that to my boy here, he would know exactly what I'm talking about. You learn a little bit of the history surrounding it as well.
Yeah, and then
a lot more than just martial arts. You learn from those anime,
and then you learn how Edo became Tokyo, how that became the capital, how that became the center of the government, and not what was the other place that they actually had the war, the Civil War. Dang, I can't remember. It was in Corona. I can't remember where they had the actual war.
Which one?
Rurouni Kenshin.
In Rurouni Kenshin, God,
where he became known as Matuasai. What was the name of the city?
Well, that's what I'm trying to think of. That's like in Samurai X. That was a long freaking time ago for me, so I'm trying to remember. God, Kyoto?
Yes, Kyoto. Thank you, Kyoto. Tokyo, Kyoto. So Kyoto was originally the capital, if I'm not mistaken, or it still might, or is it still the capital in Japan? It might still be the capital, but that's where the government was located.
No, Tokyo's the capital now, but it actually changed with the leadership.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now and then the central government moved to Edo, or Tokyo as it became after the Civil War, and the imperialists won the war. So it was just like when you think about it a lot. When you think about it, not even regular a lot of martial arts. When you think about it, because it's based on a lot of them are based on like actual real martial arts. There's some type of folklore or history that you're actually learning. Like even with God, like even with God High School, you're learning folklore about the ancient mythical powers of like the gods and stuff like that, or like the Monkey King.
It's a spin on one of their Journey to the West, one of their most famous stories.
Yeah.
You run into that with a lot of anime, but it defined much of that defined a lot of their culture early on.
Exactly.
A lot of their principal views on what justice is, what honor is, what right and wrong are, and they influence generations after them. And so when they tell these stories, there's always a mythical aspect to them that just make for great fucking anime.
Yeah, man. What you got anything to say about what you think about this, Risky?
Dude, I don't even know what there is to say. Like, I've just been over here, just like nod my head, like, yeah.
I just sat back for a second. I was like, hold up, okay, they got it. They're taking it. So, I mean, y'all are hitting all the notes, dude.
Yeah, I'm fine.
This is me and Tom when no one's around, dude. This is me and Tom when no one's around.
But man, like, I think we opened up a real big can of worms with martial arts, man, for the topic this time.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
That's because, I mean, there's so much we could do, you know?
There had to be a person or two, like, they had a note.
I want that.
Notepad out, just writing down.
I want that. You send that to me.
You want this cup?
Yes, I want that cup.
You want this cup? You want this cup?
You threw that cup in front of the king? I think he's going for your throne, dog.
Nah. Look, like Wale said, that's why I let these dreads grow. I'll never fit a freaking crown.
Hell yeah. Now, Ezra, I do have a question for you though, because you were talking about with was your first pick? Was it Gundam or was it something else?
No, it was definitely Gundam.
Yeah,
it was Gundam.
He's the king of mechs. You know it was Gundam.
No, exactly. And me hating mechs, I know it actually interests me a little bit how you were saying that they had mechs from like each country. Were they like all a little different? Because that's one thing I hate with watching mech animes is that it feels like there's very little variety when it comes to the actual like machines.
Oh, dude, all of them were completely different. Like every country had a different look, and like some of the countries that you would expect to be like crazy are just like ridiculous looking. Like I don't know, man. It's just they're all different. Like you literally get something for every nation.
If I remember correctly, because when last time you talked about it, I think it was the Toonami episode you brought it up, and I went and researched it a little bit while I was getting like the clips for it, and like they actually made a whole ring out of electricity or wire, what I don't know, lasers or something like that, out of a city, like it was a giant ring. It was dope. I was like, okay, I see what Risky talking about.
Yeah, and like, and in this one, you know how like if you see a mech anime, they're like sitting in a cockpit, they got their thing. No, their body completely gets engulfed inside of like the cockpit, but it's like they are the Gundam doing all the moves. Like if you got skill, then you got skill with the Gundam, you know.
Yeah.
The Gundam era that you've watched has a precursor in the 90s that was huge. You had Metal Skin Panic, you had MD Geist, you had Bubblegum Crisis.
What the? Wait, whoa, no, go back. Bubblegum, what?
Bubblegum Crisis, dude.
What is that?
Bubblegum Crisis.
You've never heard of Bubblegum Crisis? Oh shit, dog.
No, what?
Anime 101. Dog.
Now I gotta research this. Bubblegum, what?
I got another one, Cutie Honey.
I think I remember that one.
Back in the 90s was very sexualized. And the heroine, like Appleseed, was actually pretty common in anime. They had female superheroes, you know, doing their thing.
Oh, okay, I see
they
it.
Were super popular.
Bubblegum Crisis. This looks like some otherworldly type stuff. Year is 2032.
What I got for you, Ezra, is called MD Geist. And it's not super mech, but the main character's mech suit is pretty badass. I think you'll like it.
What is it called again, please?
MD Geist. Just MD and then GEIST.
Okay, I'll look at that.
Toad, you have to go and watch Bubblegum Crisis.
I'm going to go watch it now.
You can't call yourself anime and not have at least experienced Bubblegum. I'll let you go straight past Cutie Honey and that whole era, but you got to watch Bubblegum.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Have you watched Appleseed at least?
No, you know I've watched Appleseed.
Nope. I have not seen Appleseed.
Appleseed, if you've watched Ghost in the Shell, That's the one he did before Ghost in the Shell. What was it? Masamune Shiro, the man who did Ghost in the Shell. Before he did that, he had a series called in the 90s. That two of them. He had one called Dominion Take Police, which is another sort of mech cyberpunk type future, and then Appleseed, which is the story of a woman who's in the military who's all human, one of the few in the anime that's all human, and her partner who's full cyborg. And it's pretty badass. Super badass. They'll redo it every few years the same way they redo a lot of those earlies. But that one's actually been redone quite a few times for how popular it was. Definitely check out Appleseed. Gosh, what would be another good one?
Oh, you know what's a good one? And I overlooked it. Airmaster.
I saw that one earlier. I was like, huh. But they never finished it. That was another one.
Yeah, they never finished. But her fighting style was really cool.
Well, like those all came out at a time when it was 1 or 2 seasons and done, one and done, and they moved on. And they had a habit of doing that with anime.
Yeah.
For a while, and it was a bummer. You know.
Well, I will say this: they definitely can't do that with God of High School. They got to continue it now. So many people are raving about it.
I think they did the same. I think God of High School is going to be huge. They did that with a shoestring budget. I can tell by the keyframed animation style that they didn't have a lot of money to do a lot of fill-in on that fighting.
Right.
But on tons of it, obviously, it still looks awesome. But I think this next season is going to be epic. I think this time they'll have better funding.
No, they're going to have a lot of.
There's a buzz.
There's going to be so many people. Yeah, they're going to have so many people who wants to back them now because of how well it did.
Yeah, it reminds me in its impact of Tokyo Ghoul.
Season 1. in season 2. Season 1. No, well, season 1 was like how many episodes?
Gosh, I don't remember.
No, season 1 was a full 24, right?
Might have been.
I'm beyond season 2. I watched that too, but season 3, dear goodness, they lost me. I didn't know where I was at.
Well, the problem is that in the main manga, there's a lot of stories going on between different people, and they tried to get it all in there, and it was tough. They did all right, but I know a lot of people kind of looked at it and were like, dude, the story is starting to kind of unravel. And they rushed through the very last arc, and I think that hurt a lot of people's feelings. Dude, they did all right, but that first season obviously was just so epic. Same way that God of High School kind of rushed through that first segment, but then got really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to adapt stories from manga where you could really go in depth into 30 pages, and then trying to take those 30 pages of information and cram it into 2 minutes of video, 3 minutes of video. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. And so they have to cut corners somehow, and choosing where can cost an anime, and that's what happened with Tokyo Ghoul. Is that they just had a tough time adapting.
That's true.
I think that's why I kind of fell off that third season. I believe it was the third season.
Yeah, definitely was the third season.
And he was like, he still had the white hair, but he was like with the other people, and he was like guiding them in some crap. And
that was Tokyo Ghoul RE. That was actually
Yeah, at that point, I was like, okay, he's got amnesia. Okay, cool. All right. Bring back Kaneki. That's what I said. That's all I have to think of.
I'm saying, bring back was it the last one or was it the first one? Where it was like,
bring him back.
The funny thing about the story is, initially, there was you couldn't tell that it was him. You didn't get a verification that it was him in RE in the manga until I think like the fifth chapter, and then it was like, okay, it's definitely him. You got a couple of hints here and there, but you didn't know for sure. And they kind of they lost that mysterious factor to beginning of RE, you know, and that disappointed me, but what can you do? As I said, it's hard to adapt that shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, I think we touched a lot on this subject today.
That's that.
Yeah, man. Well, we didn't spend too much.
The whole thing again.
No, you didn't derail the whole thing. I think we all had a good amount of input. We all had different things to touch on, and we all had our strong suits when it came to this topic. Like I feel like Cryptic had his like insight on it. I had my insight on it. Kobo had his history insight, and when it comes to Risky, like we was talking, like he got us on the mechs. He always has us on.
Watching Mexican.
Yeah, Risky got me out here. Like, wait, I gotta watch it.
He's keeping the mech alive in this era, you know.
Yeah, and man. You know what?
Have that.
We got it. You know what? Put that in the Discord chat. Put that in there as a topic. Mech anime. We'll put that in there for Risky, because there's some mech anime I have watched that I've really enjoyed.
I'm gonna drop 90s bombs on you like you never believed on that one, boy. Mech was all anime did in the 90s, man. Everything had a mech spin to it.
But yeah, so I think we've come to a good point. But let's end off with what we think is probably, if we had to choose one, and we'll go around, what is one that really defines, and we can all be the same, we can all have the same choice, defines what a martial arts anime should be? If you had to say one. Like, obviously the ones we have chosen, they are all fit in that category, but the one that stands up above the rest.
You know, the Baki remake killed it, dude.
I was gonna say that too. I think we're all in agreement on that one. I could be wrong. What about you, Risky? You could have a different opinion.
I got bored watching Baki.
What? Dang.
It was one of those. Oh, you thought you were gonna kill me, but really I could do this and I could do that. I got bored with it. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I mean,
a lot of anime tropes.
All right.
Understandable.
If I had to choose a second, definitely got a High School.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That one's just making such a big impression right now that it's got to be up there.
Yeah, and then, like I said, me and Kobo, I don't know if you guys, I think you guys, I don't know if you want to just stick around and just wait for the anime, but if you are interested in seeing what else goes down, I encourage you to continue watching it. The lore gets crazier, the information, the historic information on it gets better, the fights get crazier, and it literally goes from one thing to the next to the next. Read the manga on Webtoons. It gets good.
The reason there's an anime is because the manga was that good, bro. So when you see something that's being adapted, it's because it's got that much clout at that point.
And I'm gonna be
God, same way.
And I'm gonna be real. The fights in the Webtoon in the manga on Webtoon are more in depth. Way more in depth. And you really get to see how, all right, for example, if you haven't watched it, this is a spoiler. I'm sorry. But if you have, the fight where he returns from fighting the guy who posed as his grandfather, when he went to try to say his grandfather, and when he returns to the ring to fight the other guys, that fight didn't go down the same way as it did in the anime. In the manga,
it was far more epic.
No, in the manga, it was way more epic. He was far more vicious, and to the point that if he hadn't held back in the manga, he would have killed them.
There's also the story of how she got her sword back.
Huh?
How Maya got her sword back.
Yeah,
that was a little different as well.
Yeah, how she got her sword back was different.
I would advise reading the manga just for the fact that beginning story they kind of race through, and you get a lot of character development that you didn't get in the anime.
That's true.
So, like the wedding went down completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just certain things. Not that wasn't major differences, but there were differences. They were like, okay, that didn't happen, but the manga definitely goes more in depth, especially for the fights. Like his fight with Ippo Young was way more epic.
Mm.
Yeah,
but don't get me wrong, the anime version was just as good. Don't get me wrong on that, because that ending when he snapped, yo, that was good. That was good. So
yeah, the fighting styles, the animation style for the fights were fucking awesome. So it's like, I mean, I'm not mad that they skipped over some of the character development to give us those great scenes, because it was definitely that you didn't lose anything.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't lose anything at all. So definitely, I'm gonna always go back to Fist of the North Star though. We would never be having these discussions if that had not had such an impact when it first aired. Like, and I'm thinking it actually came out in the 80s.
Yeah, that was definitely an 80s style.
The first Fist of the North Star series came out in the 80s.
Funny thing is, with the Fist of the North Stars, the way that I was first exposed to it was I had the game on the original Game Boy. And it was just one of those things. It was like I had that and I had Fighters 95 and then something else that I just didn't quite understand. And I was like, what is this game? And then I finally got into the looking at the anime and seeing how that was before I really got into it. So I have to go back and really see it, because that was just a story that I always knew about, but I never really got to develop.
Shout out to the gaming titles that became decent animes. You had a good Street Fighter anime and a good Fatal Fury anime.
That's true. That is true. And like the Street Fighter movies was like epic. Like with Dark Ken and Dark Ryu and like, oh yeah, it was. I really enjoyed those. But yeah, I think we've come to the end of the stream for us tonight, boys. Anybody got any input for the rest of this? Or
just say for a closing thought between those two that we said, Baki and God of High School, is that Baki, in terms of actual martial arts, it really did a good job of putting the seriousness of martial arts out there, that this is something that you don't want to go out and try to repeat with your little friends, or this is for sure life or death, and this is real shit. But when it comes to God of High School, it does a really good job of showcasing the beauty in all of those different art styles and just how individualized they could be. And it made the fight scenes even more grandiose on top of that. And it's doing just a great job right now. It's doing awesome with trying to put that forward. So both of them, they hold their own tiers, but great animes.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with that statement.
Yeah. I liked how Baki actually it showed the perseverance, the success, and the failure.
Yeah, man. Especially Junior, man. Like when you see the way he goes through so much, like you realize that there's a lot going on with him.
Oh, there we go. Now everybody's back. So we kind of lost you for a second there.
But you kind of you lost me.
Yeah.
Oh.
you never had him.
Oh. But yeah, no. Like you didn't don't get me wrong. You see two different sides of the coin. You see Baki's journey, and then you see Junior's journey, and they're going through the same thing, but they have different outcomes. And like what happens between their journeys and what happens between them interacting with each other, it's a lot. And them interacting with the same fights or same people that they both fought around the same people. They both fought and Junior was doing it in order to gain more strength, in order to, I believe, challenge Baki. But it was a lot. So what
he did it for the clout.
Yeah,
that's what he did it for.
That's true.
He did it for the clout.
Too bad he didn't grab the clout.
He got his shit pushed in. That was so bad. I felt bad for him.
Bruh.
Yeah, I suffered harsh defeat, you know.
Yeah, I just want to say though, Baki's girl, she for the streets.
She is for the streets.
She for the streets.
Hoes ain't loyal.
She for the streets.
Hoes ain't loyal, man.
Oh God, what about the scene with his dad when they're hooking up and the dad's in the doorway?
Oh no.
Yo, he was like, when you done, do it again. And then when you're done after that, do it again. And I think I was like, yo, what's wrong with this fool?
The most awkward scene in anime history. I'm
Yo,
just saying.
But how does dad even know? Like, what is it? This dad's a whole creep.
Dad knows everything.
These are questions we don't want to know the answer to, dog. We don't want to know.
His dad's out of this world, bro. But I think we're gonna close out, boys. To everyone who watched, or everyone who's tuning in, whoever who tunes in and watches the stream, because it will be on my YouTube at a later date. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow the fam here. You can find them on on a couple social medias. You can follow Cryptic on Twitter, YouTube. On his Twitch. Cobalt has his own YouTube and website where she has some merch, and he does like different designs and intros. Well, speaking of which, he did my intro in Cryptic, right?
Both
he did.
Ours.
Yeah, he did both our intros. He
Excellent primo work
for sure.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time you see me drop a new video on YouTube, or you see Cryptic drop one, and you see those intro videos popping, you know that, look, that's Cobalt's work. Just remember that. So, and Risky, I'm not sure, and you have any social media or anything?
No, I stopped streaming on Mixer, but I think I'm gonna try and pick up Twitch here soon.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, Risky has some good gameplays. I've seen this man do a headshot that was nasty, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm walking away. I'm walking away. No.
I'm just gonna plug it because I don't know if he will. Risky does a lot of cool shit in Ark, and I think you should stream that because I used to watch that day in, day out on somebody else's channel.
Yeah,
I
man.
used to just watch nothing but Let's Plays of Ark.
I watched Risky.
I want to watch your stuff.
Risky sent me a photo of him taming this giant dinosaur, and I was like, "How'd you do that?" Like, so, but definitely check everybody out. But without further ado, it's been a good session. I'm glad you boys could join me. I already gave it away, so I'll just say it again. Next episode will be Gurren Lagann, and I feel like there's going to be 6 to 7 of us. That's probably going to be a lot, but considering the fact we're only talking about one thing, I feel like it won't be as bad. So, and I'll try to regulate it where we all have turns. Cobalt.
We can throw he did another movie called Promare. And it's the same.
Oh yeah, Promare was good.
As that.
Yeah, Promare was good.
But obviously, if we're covering Gurren Lagann, maybe not. Just an honorable mention out there.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're into that, definitely give it a chance.
But without further ado, as always, I'm your boy Ideal Tone, and I just made it known. Later, guys.
Peace out, fam.
Yeah.